Conservatism. Conservatism, as the name suggests, is all about preserving traditional values in Western culture. Followers of this ideology typically advocate for the nuclear family, organized religion, a strong military, and property rights. Saudi Arabia is often associated with conservative values. Liberalism. Liberalism is often considered the dominant ideology in modern history. Liberals have the idea that every individual should have their own rights. They emphasize the importance of a government approved by the people, equal treatment before the law, free markets, multi-party elections, separation of powers, and a set of fundamental values outlined in the Constitution. Privacy rights, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of assembly, and freedom of religion are all part of the liberal agenda. The United States has a long history of embracing liberal values and is considered liberal. Moderatism. Moderates tend to stay within something called the Overton window, which is the range of politically acceptable policies for the mainstream population. Many moderates are apolitical, meaning they may not be deeply involved in politics, but they possess a basic understanding of political concepts. Switzerland is often considered a country with a moderate political stance, and it has a history of avoiding extreme political positions. Capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system centered on private ownership of means of production for profit. Core features of capitalism include private property, free exchange, competition, division of labor, and social cooperation. The United States is a prominent example of a country with a capitalist economic system. Socialism. There are so many types of socialism which makes it an umbrella term. In the classical sense, socialism advocates for worker-owned means of production, supporting worker coups, democratic self-management, and workplace democracy. In the modern age, socialism leans towards workers' democratic self-management, high taxation on the wealthy, and the nationalization of key industries. Social ownership is a key value in socialist ideologies. North Korea operates as a highly centralized socialist state with a state ownership of the means of production and strict government. Syndicalism. Syndicalism is often considered the offspring of socialism. Syndicalists advocate for the unionization of the workforce, creating local decentralized worker organizations known as syndicates. They believe that achieving a socialist society involves advancing workers' demands through strikes and direct action. After reaching a post-capitalist society, a congress or commute of syndicates would represent various unions or economic sectors, replacing a centralized government. For example, France saw significant syndicalist influence mainly during the early 20th century because of advocating for the direct action of workers and the establishment of a more cooperative and decentralized economic system. Corporatism. Corporatism emphasizes organizing society based on different employment sectors such as agriculture, military, and engineering. Individuals are assigned roles based on their interest and skills. Corporatism supports a cross-class system of regulation where workers, employers, and the state negotiate for the efficient economic management, aiming to satisfy all parties involved. It's crucial to note that corporatism does not imply a political system dominated by large business interests. For example, fascist Italy under Benito Mussolini implemented a form of corporatism in the early to mid-20th century. Libertarianism, a philosophy that places liberty at its core. Advocating for maximum autonomy and political freedom, libertarianism favors a limited government. It shares principles with liberalism, including equality before the law and basic rights to life, liberty, and property. The principles of libertarianism find historical roots in early days of the United States. Separatism. Separatism is also known as secessionism. This ideology seeks to establish a separate nation, country, sovereign state, or government independent of an existing nation. For example, the American Civil War is an example of a historical event driven by separatist sentiments. Feminism is a movement that strives to define and establish political, economical, personal and social equality between the sexes. It challenges societal norms that prioritize the male perspective, aiming to rectify injustices faced by women. Efforts include combating gender stereotypes and improving educational and professional opportunities for women. Although feminist movement was global, countries like Sweden, Iceland, and Canada are often recognized for their efforts in advancing gender equality. Anarchism. Anarchism is an ideology advocating for a society without rulers or constituted authority, emphasizing the value of freedom. Anarchists propose the replacement of a state with a stateless society and voluntary free associations. For example, Spain experienced a notable period of anarchist influence during the Spanish Civil War. Environmentalism. Environmentalism is also known as green politics. This ideology believes that nature should play a crucial role in shaping public policy, addressing issues such as recycling, reducing CO2 emissions, and combating water pollution. Environmentalism is a diverse movement united by its force on the impact of human activity on the planet. For example, Germany is often acknowledged for its strong environmental policies. Populism. Populism is an ideology that appeals to a large number of people, prioritizing their sentiments and desires. Populism can manifest in various forms, emphasizing movements by the people often associated with democracies. It tends to be anti-establishment and anti-politics, dividing people from the elites. Figures like Donald Trump have been associated with populism because of these famous words. Republicanism. Republicanism is centered around a non-hereditary system of government opposed to monarchism. Republicanism grants political power to citizens within a state organized as a republic. For example, the United States is an example for a republic. Progressivism. Progressivism challenges the notion that heritage should be held sacred. It emphasizes societal progress over traditional values and stands as the antithesis of conservatism, advocating for forward-thinking policies. The United States has a history of progressivism during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Theodore Roosevelt and Woodrow Wilson contributed to the progressive movement advocating for social and political reforms. Imperialism. Imperialism is an ideology that believes a country should expand its power or influence through military action. While once popular, it has gone down in popularity. Imperialism is noted for its war advocacy and the belief that powerful nations should rule over weaker ones. Proponents argue that colonization benefits the colonized by providing assistance and resources they might not otherwise have. The British Empire is a prominent example. Egalitarianism. Egalitarianism is a school of thought that wants social equality for all. It emphasizes that every citizen in a state should enjoy equal rights and treatment under the law. Norway is often cited for its commitment to social equality. Transhumanism. Transhumanism is an ideology that advocates for the technological upgrades to overcome humanity's challenges. And what is the ultimate goal? Achieving immortality and an advanced mind and body for everyone. The United States and China are a hub for technological innovations and have shown interest in emerging technologies, including genetic engineering. Communitarianism. Communitarianism is an ideology that places the well-being for the community at the forefront, breaking away from the traditional left-right political binary. Communitarianism argues for policies from both sides that complement each other for the benefit of the community. For example, the Japanese society often places a strong emphasis on community and group cohesion. Authoritarianism. Authoritarianism is a form of government characterized by strong centralized power, demanding obedience to authority. Classic monarchies are a historical example of authoritarianism, where rulers restricted political and civil freedoms. For example, North Korea is often cited as an example of an authoritarian state. Also, Russia, under the leadership of Putin, has been criticized for exhibiting authoritarian tendencies, including restrictions on political opposition and limitations on media freedom.